Freddy wins. Fatality.
Good evening, folks. Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I'm back with another episode. Joining me today is Jose Diaz, Yonkers public school employee and former Westchester County legislator candidate for the Republican Party. He's going to talk about his recent incident with the law. Join me.
Freddy wins.
Good evening, Jose. How you doing? Mr. Jose Diaz. Hold on. I got you muted.
It's okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had you muted.
And say I'm happy to be in basement politics, you know.
Well, I'm always glad to have you. Thank you for joining
Thank you.
me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of just going to get right into this. You're on the show. You want to talk about some recent things that have happened to you and your family, things that you're going through. We talked a little bit about this off air, and we've been talking about this actually for a little bit now since it happened to you. And so you were wanting to come on and discuss, and you were just waiting for the right time to do that. And now you're on the show and you want to talk about it, right? For those who may not know you, you're Jose Diaz. You are a Yonkers public school employee, and you're also former candidate for Westchester County legislator, correct?
Yes, sir. Against Jose Alvarado for the 17th district. Yeah.
That's right. Jose, let's just start at the beginning. Tell me exactly what have you and your family have been through recently. You're not currently working. You're on suspension with pay, correct?
Yes. I'm on suspension with pay.
Okay, tell me what's going on.
And actually, before we continue, I just received a phone call that I was supposed to return to work. Yes.
So you're going back to work?
Yes. I received a phone call. I mean, I haven't received anything legal, any paperwork or a phone call directly from the department, but I'm supposed to be returning to work. But I want to begin from the beginning, Freddie. I want to start from the beginning. Okay. I want to start with with my situation. As you know, on September 24th, I was arrested at the Yonkers Board of Education headquarters. I was supposed to attend a meeting with my labor relations specialist, and I was ambushed practically. Those are the words that I use by two detectives from the detective division in Yonkers and a police officer. I asked them what was wrong, and they said I was being arrested for petty larceny. And I said, I disagree with you, but, you're the law and you do what you got to do. The detective that arrested me, his name is Detective Carter. And there was another detective, a female, Detective Rios, and another police officer. I believe it's Hogan. They arrested me, they processed me. It was a very humiliating situation, embarrassing, because every time you get in contact with the police, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting a meeting, and right at the Board of Education. Besides those individuals, the head of the security was there, Mr. Brian Shoulder, and every supervisor within the school was in a room gloating about just because of the things that was happening to me at that moment. I mean, they were gloating and happy. I was surprised because, that's beyond, when you're happy about somebody going through a situation that you manufactured, because, who had the power to call the detectives division and come to the schools and investigate somebody accused of a petty larceny case,
So let me just recap.
and that I
So
stole a ukulele.
yeah, let me recap. So you were called to the Yonkers Board of Education. You were
Yeah, I
you
was
were called
supposed to. Yes, yes, they
to
were
attend the
investigating
meeting.
already. Yes, they were already
Did you know that
investigating.
they were investigating, or did you?
Oh yes, they were investigating because they went to the school. I didn't even know that. I have no idea they were already investigating for
But
like a
when you
week.
were, but when you were going to the Board of Education, did you know that it was in regards to an investigation going on about theft that had been happening in the school?
Absolutely not. I mean, there was an investigation going on, but
But you didn't know about it.
what I didn't know was that the investigation was going to be a trap to incarcerate me.
So what I'm
Yes,
saying is that you went to the Board of Education, but you were unaware of what the meeting was about, correct?
yeah, no. I knew the meeting was about a grievance, and the meeting was about what was happening in the school about the event. But what I didn't know was that I was being, I was received by the detectives and the police officer, and every supervisor within the school was in a room, looking at me like like if I was some type of a stranger, and
So you
I
get
was
there.
surprised.
So you get there and you're surprised. There's police officers, the detectives, as you said, they were there.
Yes.
There were supervisors there. The head of security was there, and at that point, they inform you that you're going to be
You're
placed
under
under
arrest.
arrest
Yes,
for
yes.
petty larceny.
For
And
petty larceny. Yes.
what they accused you of stealing was a ukulele.
Actually, yes, ukulele. The
Just
complaint.
one, or how
Well,
many?
the complaint the complaint that I have in my hands states that it was three ukulele.
Three ukuleles. Okay.
Yes.
And they also claimed that they had video of you doing this, or you stealing from the school.
Well, they have video of me. I don't want to speak about some of the details, but they don't have any video of me putting any object anywhere in a bag or on me. They don't have video of me, taking any property, Freddie. Okay, they saw me walking out with a bag that I had, which I spoke already about it. I told them what it was in the content of the bag in there, and
It was
they
your
didn't care.
property, correct? It was your property
Well,
that
it
was
was
in the back.
yes, yes. It
Okay.
was some things that I already told them what it was that was in the bag in there, but they didn't care. They had already these pre-planned. It was a pre-planned um, arrest. They
Right.
planned it because I found out that the following day after I got arrested, they placed a new employee immediately. So you realize that these people plan all this because now the reasons why do I think they did that to me is because I have been a very outspoken person about the things that are and irregularities that are happening within the world of education. And that I ran for office because I wanted to help my community. That's all. I wasn't wanting to enrich myself, but the complaints that I have filed before, I have taken the civil service exam multiple times, passed it, and but you get bypassed. Only the people that they want are the beneficiaries of uh, giving positions of supervisors and in other favors.
So you're saying that this was a setup, right? So
It was a
they
setup.
set you up. They claim to have a video of you just carrying a bag to your car. They don't know what was in the video. I mean, what was in the bag based on the video. It's just of you leaving work with a bag. They used that as an excuse to charge you with petty larceny, stating that you had stolen some items from the school. There were three ukuleles allegedly that you stole, and you believe that this is in retaliation because you've been vocal. You've been very vocal, and you have,
I've
right?
been very vocal.
You've come on the podcast. You've talked about some of the things that are going on, specifically with the building and grounds department. You've also talked about the union CSEA and its president Alberto Velasquez. You've mentioned him.
Yes,
You
Freddie. And I want now that you mentioned Alberto Velasquez, I want to tell you that a week previously to this event, I had testified on a judicial hearing against Alberto Velasquez because, as Maribel de Jesus have filed a complaint and other employees, and I testified, and I testified in front of those judges. I mean, it was a Zoom, you know, event, but I told them what was going on. I told them about Alberto Velasquez, his deficiency and his lack of respect for the employees and lack of representation. And this individual practically threatened me in front of those judges. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry, Jose. Don't worry. You know, as you know, his brother is an
so let
assistant
me just
supervisor.
so Alberto Velasquez. So there was a complaint filed. There was actually probably several complaints filed against Alberto Velasquez
But
to
this was a hearing, a judicial hearing
right
of
to
CSEA.
CSEA, and then they held a judicial hearing in regards to the complaints that were levied against Alberto Velasquez, who is the CSEA president currently, who's also now running for District 2 on the city council, right? And you were there, and you weren't there, but you testified via Zoom, correct?
Yes.
And at that moment, that he had threatened you. He made a threat against you. He said that,
Yes.
what was his exact words? What was the
I
threat that
said,
he made?
don't worry, don't worry about it, Jose. It's okay. As being sarcastic, like, it was a threat, an indirect threat. But if I tell somebody, don't worry about it, Jose, like, I'll get you later. But it's not a coincidence that his brother is an assistant supervisor, and his brother was one of the individuals that was there in the school. He was there with the head of the security and
At the Board of Ed.
police officers. Well, actually at the school first. They went to the school, and it culminated at the Board of Ed. You can see the conflicts of interest within the system. You have a union president, a unit 9169. I want people to understand it's a unit. It's a small unit of 1,500 members. Actually, it's like probably 1,350. It's not, it's not that amount. When I was running for the union, I found out that it's not 1,500. It's probably 1,400, a little,
Right.
little less
Roughly.
than
It's
that.
roughly. Right.
Yeah, roughly like that. But this individual, his brother is an assistant supervisor. Plus, besides that, I have complained about the head of the department because in 2014, 2013, I have filed charges with the Human Rights Commission and with the EEOC, against the abuses and discrimination that I was being put through for 2 years. 2 years they made it difficult, Freddie. It was every day that they harassed me and discriminated in different schools. They moved me to different schools. I even had a crackhead supervising me, okay, a drug addict supervising me at one point. And they knew it. They knew who he was, an alcoholic, drug addict, supervising me. And these are the things that these people condone. But if you have a friend in high places, it doesn't matter. They place anybody in any high position. I complain about the violations of Civil Service Law 65, which has to do with provisional appointment. You can have an employee for more than 9 months as provisional. You have to abandon after 9 months. You leave the position, and if there is a civil service exam, you take it. If not, you leave it. But some of these individuals stay there for years, sometimes years. Getting the benefit of a paycheck, getting the benefit of having the power to supervise other people. And this is one of the reasons that I have complained before, because if I take a civil service exam and I pass the test and I'm entitled to a position, or somebody else, not only me, but somebody else, because a lot of people take the test, give that person, go to the list and give that person the job. But they have a
Jose,
list and they don't go by the list.
how long have you been with the Yonkers Public School Building and Grounds Department?
24 years.
24
years.
years. And you've taken the
Yes.
civil service exam, right? So you have been eligible to be made a supervisor, and in 24 years, you have not.
No, one of the main supervisors made sure, and openly uh, expressed himself, stating that while I'm here, Jose Diaz is not going to get any supervising position.
You had a
It's not going to
supervisor
advance.
state that,
Oh yes,
mention that to
oh
you.
yes, yes.
Also, one of the the things that people in your position look for after so many years of service is to get onto day shifts, right? And something that you have been wanting to happen, right? Transition from the night
In the
shift to the
past,
day
yes, I
shift.
did,
And
and I sent letters to supervisors. They didn't even have the decency to answer me. You see, well, usually, Freddie, it's a practice that to become a day man, to have a day position, you got to earn it. You got to be in the system at least for 3 or 4 or 5 years, so you can learn how it works. But these people hire individuals and put them as datemen. In my school, where I was working at the CrossFit Academy, I've been working there since with Emerson. At that school, they hire at least 3 or 4 individuals, straight to become daymen. And I had asked for that position, and they didn't even have the decency to answer the letter. I sent them actually, I sent them 2 letters. I believe I have one of the letters here. Look, it was in 2018. 2018. I have records of everything that I did within the Board of Education, and everything has been legal. And I'm not the only victim. There is a practice of these people to abuse employees, to violate civil service law, to abuse individuals, to discriminate. It is a practice. It has been going on for years, and they abuse their position, they abuse people, they abuse individuals, and there are no repercussions. Who's going to come and defend you if they all protect each other? It's an enclosed circle of individuals that use a position of power to abuse the employees. I have told many people multiple times, listen, I don't work for you. I work for the Yonkers public schools. I am not your personal employee. And it continues, it's going to continue, it's going to keep going on until somebody stop that. There's a lot of illegal activities going on, and that's one of them, Freddie. That's just a few, but there's more. There's more than
so
that.
so where do you stand now with your case, right? I know you've gone to court for it. What's
Well,
happening now?
right now, yes. Well, it's my fourth time going to court. They gave me the paperwork at last, and they accused me of petty larceny. Plus, they gave 3 employees orders of protections against me. 3 people that gave statements, and they gave them temporary orders of protection. Not
Have you
because
made
they
any
spoke about me.
threats? Have you made any
Absolutely
threats to
not.
them? Have you?
Absolutely not.
Why would they
I never
give an
threatened
order of
anybody.
protection? I- Is it just like a
Uh,
precautionary thing because they
I,
testified against
my
you?
belief is, Freddie, that if you can weaponize uh, the police department, if you can weaponize the district attorney's office against somebody, you got to have some type of power, of position within the city of Yonkers. I don't know who did it. I don't know who are the people involved in this. I can just think and question. Maybe God can reveal it one day. But people in power, in positions of power, are manipulating the justice system and abusing individuals, abusing us, and that's not right. Where are we going to go, Freddie?
I have
Am
a
I going to go
question here.
to a representative?
Right. Well, that was going to be my question. It comes from Ron Matten. Has your union provided you representation?
The representation is only for the event within the schools. I actually have an agreements that I filed for the same situation of not paying me the out of title pay. As you know, when we have a night supervisor, and when the night supervisor is not in the building, the person with the most seniority gets paid, the rate of pay of the supervisor. But what they did was they brought another employee from another school, so they won't pay me. They don't have to pay me, the other title position. So I've been a target, a continuously. I mean, let me tell you this, Freddie. I have been the target of this individual for multiple years, probably 15, 17 years, and they don't stop, using their position of power to abuse employees, violating practices of the Yonkers public schools. And I have documentation where within the Yonkers public schools, they're not supposed to permit this type of abuses. This is the Board of Education policies and ethics ready. And if you allow me, I can read three paragraphs briefly.
Sure, go
It
ahead.
says the Board of Education is committed to avoiding situations involving board members, officers, or employees, which, due to conflicting interests, may call into question the integrity of the management or operation of the district. In instances where conflicting interests arise, the affected board members, officers, or employees shall recuse themselves from the decision-making process. Now, the board affirms its commitment to adhere scrupulously to all applicable provisions of law regarding material conflicts of interest. Any board member, officer, employee, or member of the public noting or suspecting a violation of this policy is encouraged to bring this matter either in confidence or in public to the Board of Education or the superintendent of schools. And last, knowing or willfully violating this policy by any board member or officer or employee may result in suspension or removal from office or employment in accordance with the applicable law. Further, any board member, officer, or employee who willfully and knowingly violates conflict of interest provisions of the general municipal law to be guilty of a misdemeanor. This is what they violate all the time, Freddie. This is about conflicts of interest, and this is about whistleblowers. I am operating practically as a whistleblower. Okay, nobody's paying attention because they all protect each other, and this is the reason why they retaliate against me. And
You're also
I'm only defending myself, you know.
no, as you should. So you stated recently though that at the beginning actually of the podcast that you have been given a phone call. You've have been cleared to go back to work. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
true? Does
That's
that
correct.
mean
Yeah.
that they're no longer suspecting you of stealing? What does that mean exactly?
That means that actually the school where they told me to report, the supervisor of that school is one of the supervisors that I have filed a complaint before with the EEOC and the Human Rights Commission. An individual that called me the N word, and these people, uh, my belief is that they want to continue the entrapment. They want to
Yeah,
continue harassing me. They're
yeah.
not saying, Jose Diaz, go to a different place where, we're not going to bother you. Do your job. I always did my job. I have no complaints about my job from anybody or anyone. But no, they want to continue the attacks and the tactics of destroying me as a person and entrapment. That's what they do. That's the way they operate. When I was transferred from 2014, 2013, when I was transferred to uh, Lincoln High School, the assistant supervisor at that time, and I'm being cordial, not mentioning his name. That assistant supervisor went to the supervisor of Lincoln High School and told him, "I want to bring this guy, Jose Diaz. I want you to harass him. I want you to make it difficult for him, and physically with his fist, when give it to him." And that's what they did.
And I
And he
believe you,
said that in
Jose.
front of all the employees.
No, I believe you. And some people look at my posts and think that I'm crazy and the things that I'm talking about
They're
are
not.
I just make it up. But these, sometimes I can't give the sources out. People are very scared. People are truly scared. You're obviously not scared. And this is why you're in the situation that you're in with that arrest, because you're someone that's willing to be a face of those who speak out. You're a whistleblower and you're not hiding. You don't do things in an anonymous way. But this is actually what happens in Yonkers Public School, as well as in the Yonkers Police Department, or Yonkers, any city department employees who speak out, who blow the whistle. They're going to get attacked. They're going to get retaliated to the point where they will lose their jobs. I've talked to Anthony DiMaggio. It's happened to him, the former Yonkers police lieutenant. I've talked to other people who work at DPW, and the Yonkers Public Schools. But what you're saying in that, you were transferred to a school just to be harassed is what they do. This is what they did to my wife when they transferred her from YMA to Roosevelt High School. That was the whole goal, was to have people harass her, People have made statements against her, even though my wife had done nothing wrong. And I wish she had recorded this, but even the principal, the guy, Mr. DeChint, his name is, even told her. He said, there's people that are, higher up, people up there in the city who want me to, write negative things about you. And he eventually did. He actually eventually wrote a bad review. But where he messed up was that his first review of my wife was impeccable, was incredible. And so he wrote a negative, evaluation the second time around on my wife. And this was an attempt to get her fired using that negative evaluation. And they tried to fire her. However, I spoke to Vinny Spano, and I quickly, and maybe I shouldn't have said this to him. I think better now. I should have just kept my mouth shut. But I told him, I said, "Hey, Vinny, this doesn't make sense because he's contradicting himself." Mr. DeChint, the principal at Roosevelt, he's contradicting himself in this new evaluation. He's stating things that are opposite of what he said in his initial evaluation. So which one is it? One of, both cannot be true at the same time, right? He said she was great. She was attending the meetings that she was supposed to. She was, taking lead in the meetings. And then in the negative evaluation, she wasn't attending meetings. She wasn't doing this and that, right? So he was contradicting himself, and that would have opened them up for an obvious lawsuit. So they didn't fire her at that point, right? But that was the whole point of sending her to Roosevelt High School, right? Was to, get her terminated, to have this gentleman who's obviously willing to do this stuff at the request of, certain individuals within City Hall in Yonkers, to get her fired, and because of me, because I was speaking out just like you. So these things happen, and people need to wake up, and people need to say this is not okay. And people need to, I'd speak to people sometimes and I said, you have to be vocal about it. I understand you're scared, but nothing's ever going to change if you don't come out and speak out. And the more people that speak out, the harder it is going to be for them to attack people. The harder it will be for them to retaliate, and the harder it will be for them to do these things to people, right? So we have to speak out. And by the way, I recently put a post up of Deanna Robinson, the councilwoman for District 1, which went bananas. That post spread like wildfire, and it was information that was verified from people within Yonkers politics, insiders in politics, people in the community, as well as my sources within the police department, that she was with her boyfriend who was caught stealing at Party City, right? And they caught him on camera. He got into the city vehicle, right, a tax-funded, vehicle, and they sped away. Yet no charges were brought up, right? They called the police and they completely covered it up. But when it comes to you for 2 or 3 ukuleles, they're accusing you of with no evidence, right? Because you are a whistleblower, right? You speak out. So, these are things that happen in Yonkers, and people need to wake up and stop acting like they don't happen.
In my case, Freddie, there's a lot of people involved. And they
Freddie,
wanted
we
to
know you're
terminate my
crazy,
employment.
but that doesn't mean you're wrong. Yeah, I'm crazy for speaking out, Ron. I'm crazy for having done this podcast, right? Go ahead and
See,
Jose.
Freddie, their purpose is for me to lose my seniority, my 24 years. It's going to be 25 years pretty soon, because these people don't care. These sociopaths don't care about you. They only care about what they can do. And these people that are breaking the law, getting protected for breaking the law and breaking regulations, and doing so many things, hiring individuals that are their friends, placing people in positions of power, placing people in higher positions so they can make more money, people that embezzle, people that, I remember years ago, I don't know if it's still happening, but, people get punched in and they're not in the building. You clock in, but you're not in the building, but you're getting paid overtime. There's a lot of
No,
things
sure.
going on. Of course, there's a
So
lot of
do you think a
embezzlement.
lot of this
But
happened to, do you think a lot of this, not to cut you off, is a result of you being specifically vocal about Alberto Velasquez, right? You said that in that judiciary hearing,
that's part
a
that's
judicial
part of the
hearing.
situation with Alberto Velasquez. Yeah, that's part of it. And as you know, when I was running as a county legislator, he went to the Van Cortlandt and ripped one of my flyers. And he actually went to the Chima Center, together with Jose Alvarado, and supported him publicly. He can support anybody as a
Yeah.
person, but as a CSCA president, you couldn't. But you represent a union. Anywhere you go, they're going to see you as, Alberto Velasquez, the union president. And, he campaigned against me. And that little group of individuals, another one was Rue Ross, which is his friend. Rue Ross, that's a small group of individuals that are really, they destroy my name. They hurt my name publicly. People, you know, they gotta have a different opinion of me. Oh my God, look at Jose. I thought he was such and such person. I'm just, paraphrasing. But this individual, this nasty individual, take my name in his nasty mouth, you know, and degrade my name publicly. He's the last person that should be speaking about anybody because he pleaded guilty to abusing a child. So don't come and take my name in your nasty, filthy mouth. Talk about yourself. Talk about the problems that you have given the city of Yonkers before. Don't talk about me. You don't
Well,
have the right.
also, I mean, you've been very vocal on the family court, right? You've been very vocal
Yes.
against the family court system. You've been very vocal specifically of Marianne Scatter radical neighbor, who recently became a Supreme Court judge, something to that effect, right?
Yes,
So
yes. A Supreme
how
Court
much?
judge, a
Yeah,
judge that had, 9 judicial complaints, it's magic in Yonkers.
and how much do you think that also could have played into what happened to you?
I'm sorry. Oh, of course. I suspect anybody. I mean, we were the only individuals that I recall that protested the abuses of the family court system. But if you see who supported this woman, you can see the entire DNC, public officials supporting her, and a lot of people in
CSA
power
President
with the city of
Alberto
Yonkers.
Velasquez.
The CSA president, he had a picture of. I remember when I went to file a grievance, he had a picture of himself and Mary Ann Scatto article on the wall in there as a trophy. This moron. I mean, listen. Let me come back to normal because I don't want to say anything that's not my character. But this individual that participated in this and take pictures with every individual that has hurt my family, a person that has no credibility. No, he abandoned the members of CSCA, and I would tell the members of CSCA, get this man out of there, get him out, vote him out. You have to get this individual out of there. He has to go. He
Well,
doesn't deserve to be a union president.
he's now running for city council, Alberto Velasquez, District 2. Again, he's going to be running against Corazon Pineda Isaac, which I haven't always agreed with Corazon Pineda Isaac, but I'd much rather see Corazon Pineda Isaac in that seat over Alberto Velasquez. But since announcing his candidacy for city council, the CSCA union 9169
69, not 169.
has now negotiated a contract. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I haven't. I have been so busy with my case that I haven't been able to really analyze the contract, Freddy. But I
Well,
guarantee you,
I
yeah.
did get this sent to me, right? This obviously a lot of the members are not happy with the new contract terms. So they're sending out these flyers here that say vote no on the new contract, right? Because it's yet to be voted on by its members. And they're just upset. There is no increase to the cost of health insurance. So no members will not have to pay more for their health insurance, but they're upset over the increase, the pay raise, which is 1.5% increase over the next 5-6 years. Right, so they're not happy about that. They're saying that it's a very small increase. They've gone without a contract for nearly 3 years. Yes, it will be retro, but it doesn't keep up with the cost of inflation, right? And this is what something that has been said is that CSCA members are some of the lowest paid in the school district, and and they need the money. These are the working class backbone employees of the city's school district. And they're not treated as fairly as maybe the teachers are treated, and they want a better contract, right? So they're sending out these flyers, someone is, not to vote on it. Someone put, so what if we vote no and fight for more than 1.5? Didn't our last contract we received 2% increase with no insurance increase? Check your contract, union members. Check your contract. This seems corrupt. There's another flyer that's been or text message. I don't know. I was sent to this also. So for those members, if you don't know, there's going to be a meeting on January 28th, 2025 at Lincoln High School. It's from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Right, there will be 2 informational meetings starting at 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. So you're encouraged to attend. It's very important, and just for those who may not know. But can you tell me a little bit about the CSE, the fight for the new contract?
Well,
Which been going
we
on for 3.5
we're
years.
always the union that gave the crumbs, from the city of Yonkers. They have no respect for the union. It's a very weak union because of the leadership that we have had in the past. They have no respect for CSEA. In every city department, they got their fair share. I mean, they got the good money, and you have women that work, mothers, or bus monitors, the kitchen people that work in the kitchen for 4 hours. You have teachers aides. You have a lot of individuals, the clerks. You have a lot of people that work hard in the custodial department, and we don't deserve our fair share. Only the city departments, the individuals that make a lot of money already. Why don't you respect the employees? And these people work and live in Yonkers and consume in Yonkers because they don't live outside Yonkers, making $250,000 a year and spending their money somewhere else outside the city. But we work here and we consume right in the city of Yonkers. So every time we go buy something, we pay those taxes that goes towards the city of Yonkers. A city with one of the most high taxes in you know anywhere you can think of. And taxation without representation. That's the phrase. But we deserve it. We deserve that fair share. We deserve that little bit of respect. They have no respect for us, and that's what it is. We disrespect you. We have the power. And what are you going to do? You have a sellout president that's doing nothing for you, and he's not going to do it. He's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah,
He
and
never
that's what I
did,
say.
and he's never going to do it.
I say this, and I question why would anybody want to vote for Alberto Velasquez to represent them in District 2 when he hasn't done such a great job in representing his CSEA members, right? I mean, he's failed to secure a contract in the past 2.5
Somebody
years.
got to wake him up. He's dreaming. He's daydreaming, probably. Somebody got to wake him up.
Right, and
He's
he's
daydreaming. He doesn't have the capacity to run the
finally able
union, and he wants
to negotiate something, which is ironically, or coincidence that it's happening as he's now running for office, right? It would make him look good if he's able to finally secure a contract. He can say, look, this is what I've done as CSEA president, 9169. I can do the same for the city or District 2, right? But it's all just a show. And so I just think it's a coincidence that he's now, has a contract. Mike Spano gave himself a 46% raise and retro pay, right? And the city council also gave themselves a huge raise, right? I mean, they voted on their own. Imagine if you and the CSEA members get to do that, right? You can vote on the amount of the raise that you want, right? You can just say, you know what, we want a 10% raise, and we're going to vote yes to that, right? But you would think Alberto Velasquez spends a lot of time with the politicians, right? You see him hobnobbing with Mike Spano, the mayor, council members. He's always at political events. Yet he still seems to have trouble securing a contract that will make the members happy.
He's a puppet. That's why. Right? He's a puppet. He doesn't have the stamina. He doesn't have, the desire to fight for the people that he represents. And that's the problem that we have.
I saw his name, a gentleman by the name of Charlie Khalil, right? He's put up posts now. He's throwing his hat in the ring. He's going to be running for CSEA president. What do you think of Charlie Khalil? Do you know who he is?
I don't know Charlie,
Charlie Khalil. Well, someone had texted me and said that the same person that sponsored and supported Alberto Velasquez for president of CSC is the same gentleman that's sponsoring and supporting Charlie Khalil, which I know the guy's name, but I'm not going to mention him. And if that's true, I'm not sure if that's going to be the best bet either for you guys. I think it would be more of the same, as representation anyway. So
There are
will
so
you
many
be?
things. Huh?
Will you
Sorry,
be? Will you be throwing your hat in the ring? And I know you got a lot going on, but have you thought
I got a
about?
lot going on, Freddie. I was thinking about that because the contract that we have, it looks like it was written by a fifth grader. This is the contract that we have. He offers no
Have you
protection.
heard Alberto talk?
Well, he doesn't
Have you
talk.
heard him communicate? He's like a fifth grader. Go
He
ahead.
doesn't talk. He doesn't communicate, and that's the problem. And see, this is the agreement, the collective bargaining agreement that we have. It offers no protection. That's the reason these supervisors and people can abuse. You see, can abuse the power that they have, and they know that they have. I mean, they have the discretion to transfer you and do whatever they want. Practically, you can even complain. It has been going on for years, and nobody calls these people out. Freddie. I defended a lot of people in the past. I defended a lot of people that were being abused, and they're still being abused. I defended a lot of people, and the main problem that we have is that people are afraid. They're afraid to
Yeah.
speak up because they
Yeah.
get an immediate retaliation.
Yep.
I really, after what they did to me, what else can they do to me? They arrested me. They suspended me, and I know they're not going to stop harassing me and discriminated against me because I'm in basement politics right now. Freddie. You see, this is what the publication. Uh, you know, the regulations say disclosure of wrongful conduct, whistleblower policy. A lot of people don't know about some of these regulations. They should, really look into this because we have a lot of regulations that are not being applied. If the superintendent of school, you know, has all these regulations that are supposed to be respected, why not get involved? Why not getting involved in this on the abuses of the members? If I was the president of CSCA, none of the members will be abused because I'll be fighting for them. I'll be fighting for them, Freddie. I will never allow
I
that because
believe
I'm a
you. And
victim. I'm a victim myself. I'm a victim of these people for I've been a victim of these people for multiple years, being victimized by these individuals, humiliating you, abusing you, making sure that you don't make enough money for your family, threatening you, transfer you. They give you, I forgot, when I was in Yonkers High, I used to do half of the school. It's a very abusive system. And it's again, they can't got together and there's nowhere you can go. You call CSCA, they don't pick up the phone number. Do you think that the CSCA president is doing anything for my case? I'm paying union dues. It's not doing anything for my case. You're supposed to be representing me. Is he representing me in there? Regardless of whatever he thinks I am or he's doing. You have an obligation. You're getting people, you have people paying the union dues. What are you doing with that? Yeah, misrepresenting the people. He should have been taken out when they had that, judicial hearing. He should have been taken out, and that position should have been given to somebody else because he doesn't
it's
deserve to be
unfortunate though. You
the
like you
union
said,
president.
they have the whistleblower, laws stated right there. You just read them, but unfortunately, the people that are tasked with enforcing that are part of the problem. And this is how they retain control, right? They know which positions they need to control and they control them. And one of the positions that the powers that be in the city of Yonkers controls is the office of the superintendent, right? When they want somebody
Freddie,
hired, they get them hired.
yes,
When they want somebody fired, they get them fired. And the
there's a lot
superintendent
of
doesn't
pay.
ask
There's a lot.
questions. Human resource
There's
doesn't
pay
ask
to play,
questions.
Freddie. There's pay to play within the system. Pay to play. They have covered up a lot of abuses. They have covered up crimes within the schools. They have covered up a lot of things, Freddie. Okay, people abusing individuals physically. Did they call the police on some of the individuals that have been abusing? I'm telling you, physical abuse within the system. But no, they cover that up. If you cover up a crime, you're as guilty as that person that committed the crime. And they cover up a lot of things. And that's one of the problems that we have within the system. If you speak up, immediate retaliation. An immediate retaliation, Freddie. You even get to do some overtime because they take all the overtime.
Right.
It's just an abusive system. They need to be revised. And going back to my case grading in court, the first time that I saw, I didn't even see a judge. Judge Dan Romano was there.
Oh no,
Now the last time I
not
went,
Dan Romano, one of the most corrupt judges in the city of Yonkers.
and the last time I went, I had Judge Karen Beltran. I had met her while I was campaigning. She was very cordial, very, nice lady. I
Yeah,
mean,
she's a
I was
nice lady.
campaigning. Yes,
Definitely a
and
nice lady.
I don't know her personally, but I interacted with her, during the campaign. I took some pictures. Oh, said, can you take a picture? I said, okay, no problem. But I don't know where we stand. I don't know who's taking order from who, and I don't know where this case is going to go. Uh, God willing,
Well, I'm just happy that you have Judge Beltran because Dan Romano is not the best judge to have. He's definitely on team Alberto Velasquez. Him and Alberto Velasquez share campaign managers, right? The same campaign manager that Tasha Diaz has and others within the city of council, right? So I'm glad that he's not on your case. So I'm glad that Beltran's on, and hopefully there'll be a final resolution that'll be in your favor because I know you, Jose, and you're not stealing ukuleles from the schools. I mean, who is actually stealing those things from the school? What any
I
value, if
don't,
any, do they have? Right? I
I,
just want to read this. There
I
are
don't.
rumors that the mayor wants to go for a fifth term. What about all the recent complaints? Head of HR being sued by a stripper. Oh, yeah. So HR, and I've heard this from now multiple sources within the police. I have sources within police department, sources inside politics, and that there's allegations out there that Carlos Moran doesn't know what no means. No means no, Carlos. And allegedly, he was at City Lights, the strip club on Yonkers Avenue, and Carlos Moran is the head of human resources for the city of Yonkers, and he was there after the Christmas party that they had. He was very intoxicated, and he was trying to get one of the dancers, I'll say it that way, to have sex with him, and she was refusing, his advancements. But he kept on, to the point where she then filed a complaint against him for assault. And now the city taxpayers may be, having to foot the bill for Carlos Moran's bad behavior because this dancer is going to be suing the city of Yonkers. But you don't hear about that. He hasn't been charged with anything. He's not going through the same process that you're going through. Yeah, here you are, Jose, over 3 ukuleles that they have no evidence that you took. Has
Not
to
just
spend all
that,
this
Freddie,
money
that
and time.
they weaponize the the
2 men in
detective
City Hall
division.
accused of sexual harassment. Akeem, it's endless. Who are protecting the women because it's not Mike Spano? His city council is rogue. He wanted to give Deanna her car back again because Deanna was, with her boyfriend who, allegedly stole from Party City, then got into her vehicle, her city of Yonkers provided vehicle paid by the taxpayers. So Tom Meyer, the head of DPW, took her car away. But it wasn't just for the stealing at Party City, which is, the car was involved in a crime. That's reason enough. But it was also for tickets that it had received, unpaid tolls, and others, reckless driving, allowing the boyfriend to drive the car. I know a lot of people made comments on that post saying, "Oh, you're crazy, Cap. You don't have a life," whatever other silly, comment that they made because they didn't believe it. Listen, I just report what credible people tell me, right? And so her car was taken away. They tried to get it back. To allegedly, the mayor asked for Tom Meyer to return the car, and Tom Meyer refused, which surprised me. I'm surprised that Tom just didn't go with what the mayor wanted. Something bad is going to happen, and all this shit is going to hit the fan. Yeah. Do not forget the harassment complaint against County Legislator Jose Alvarado, Supervisor of Parks Department. That's another. All right. So a lot of stuff is kept under raps, right? It's swept under the carpet. If you are part of the team, right? If you are part of the few individuals, who play ball, who are willing to be unethical, commit crimes, even, right? Keep quiet, do as you're told, then you have a free reign in the city of Yonkers. But if you're someone that exposes the corruption, exposes the unethical and criminal behavior, they're going to come for you. You're a target, and they have the power to try and destroy your lives. Some people's lives they destroyed, others they tried, but
Fred,
still have their
it's not,
lives.
to me, it's not normal that a political party controls almost the entire county. We don't have any opposition. I ran as a Republican. I first wanted to run for the city council, but it was supposedly a conflict of interest. And it's sad that we don't have, the balance of power here. Even the
Right.
balance of justice is one-sided. In order for you to get justice here, you're going to be connected with some high-profile individual or somebody in power. I mean, we don't have a balance. We need a third party. I mean, unfortunately, the Republican Party, because I'm a conservative. I'm a loyal. I'm a loyal Trumper. But the Republican Party allow these individuals to run uncontested or don't support their candidates. And I had no support. Economically, I couldn't do it, and I have no support from the political party that I wanted to represent. And that's one of the worst things that can happen for a candidate. It was me and my wife walking up and down. It was good because we was a little weight, but campaigning and getting signatures, and while the other ones, they're giving help. How can you balance the power? How many people? How many Republicans have abandoned their party and become Democrats? How many people, have you seen defending, the political party? It's insane. I mean, it's like a hybrid. They're intertwined, and that shouldn't
Well,
be.
the
That
truth
shouldn't be.
is that there are a lot of powerful Yonkers politicians who were once Republicans, became Democrats because they saw that the city was becoming majority Democrat. And although they changed their party affiliation, they never let go control of the Republican Party. And so as a result, the Yonkers Democrats, who are in control of the party, the Democratic Party in Yonkers, also control the Republican Party. And people who are, the heads of the Republican Party in Yonkers are just there to assure that whatever it is that the people that control both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, do what they say, right? So that's why. And so that's why you see many elections in the city of Yonkers and sometimes in the county go uncontested by a Republican, right? So, the Democrats have no opponent and they just skate right on through to the win, right? Because they
Like me and when I was running
assure it.
for the 17th district. I mean, Jose Alvarado was running uncontested for a long time,
Right.
and now he's going to run uncontested again. Who's gonna run against
Well,
him?
hopefully that's
Anybody?
starting to change. There's some Republicans out there that are looking to make change within the Republican Party. There's been some things that have been happening, right? And I hope that those people are successful because, a democracy, is, when you have two candidates who oppose each other, right? Who have different views and we're supposed to be allowed to vote on, these individuals, right? And the people are supposed to elect who they want. It shouldn't be where elections go uncontested. It was always a Democrat. It's always the same Democrat, right? It's the same people running time
Should have
and
been in
time and
politics
time
for,
after again.
20 years. I mean,
Right.
20 years.
And they become
In the same
multimillionaires.
position. I mean, come
Multimillionaires
on, man.
in
Freddie, and I'm
politics.
going to tell you this: we don't live in a democracy, okay? This country was founded on the different principles, on constitutional principles. We live in a republic. Listen, in a republic. People get it confused, and not you, but a lot of people want to say we are under democracy. We're not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. There is a situation where the names change.
Right. Well,
But
Jose,
hopefully we. Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck with this situation. And, again, I don't think anything's going to come of it. They have zero evidence against you. They don't have a smoking gun. They just have an accusation. I'm not sure why the Westchester County DA, even took this on and even charged you with it. But I have my opinion on that, which that's a whole nother podcast. Jose, please
To the
hang in
charge.
there. You
Mhm.
have a beautiful family and you are not alone. We have to keep praying for justice. They definitely have no connections there. People support
Thank
you,
you, and
Jose.
and that's what it is, Freddie. I believe in God, and some of these events have I gotten closer to God, and I trust Him. Whatever the outcome, He's going to be the ultimate judge, and at the end of the day, I'll take it. I'll take whatever God allows. But if it's the other side manipulating justice, because the balances of justice here, they're one-sided. When you have politicians controlling, the application of justice, that's terrible. Or you
Yeah,
have people in power, and these people brag about it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about this? And within the Yonkers public schools, the superintendent, I don't know, well, I don't know who he takes orders from, but whoever hired him, um, do something about this. Make a revision of the buildings and grounds department. Stop these people from abusing the employees. Stop them. Look at what they do. Look at what they do. They've been doing this for years, Brady. 30 years, 40 years. And nobody is an outspoken person. I'm the only one probably that have been, taking this in the open because of the things that have happened to my family, especially with the family court. As my granddaughter was stolen. I mean, technically stolen with false accusations. A judge manipulated the justice system with 5 different lawyers, attorneys, and and God willing, justice will be applied. I hope the new president, do something about this because
yeah,
we need change. We need change in this country. We need a change, God willing, he'll supply something. God will supply, the justice that we need to the people. And I pray to God every day. I'm hold on. Listen, Freddie, we're not going to live forever. And the Bible states that you're going to go somewhere, or you go up, or you go down. But you're going to go somewhere according to how you live and how you apply your principles that you have in this life.
I
And
agree. And a lot of those people are going to end up going down. Well, some people say now that Trump is in office, maybe things have changed. I don't know. They have gotten very brazen in the city of Yonkers with their unethical behavior, their criminal behavior, their corrupt behavior. I question, who is it that's truly protecting them? Are they being protected from certain individuals up in Albany, certain politicians, maybe even the governor who's been seen down here in the city of Yonkers spending a lot of time with the Spano family? Is she the reason why they feel so emboldened and protected and continue to do what they do without any worry of an investigation? I don't know. But they're just very brazen about it. It's like they don't believe that anything will ever happen. So we'll see. Maybe now that Trump is in office, he'll start cracking the whip. Maybe he'll get what is his name? Kesh
Cash Patel,
Kash
Cash
Patel.
Patel.
He'll be the head of the FBI, and he'll start to investigate a lot of corruption. And maybe New York will be one of their targets because New York is the number one state for political corruption. Jose Diaz, before I let you go, anything else you want to say?
I wanted to say, Freddie, first, thank you for inviting me and being a
Of
voice for
course.
the people. People miss you in Yonkers because they know, you're not a public official, but by releasing this information, you're creating some balance and opening people's minds and telling people, don't be afraid, come out.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to suffer. I mean, they prosecuted Jesus Christ. His trial was a fake trial,
Amen.
and they gave him the death penalty. Freddie, he was it was a false accusation, and they killed him because he said he was God, because he is God, and he is the creator of the universe, and he's the creator of everything that we've seen here. And
That's
one
right.
day, everyone's going to be in front of him and going to have to give an account of what they do. But some people, they're not going to listen to what I'm saying, but that's okay. That's okay, Freddie. Now I'm speaking to the people of CSCA. Vote this guy out, vote no for that contract because it's disrespectful to you, it's disrespectful to the members. Try to, get somebody else. I'm practically on my way out, Freddie, because I was always thinking about helping individuals and helping people. But even that, it makes you rethink about some of the events that have happened to me. You try to help people and people betray you. You can count, I can count with my left hands how many people have reached out to me, but it's okay. I only need God, my family, and my good friends
That's
like
it.
you and some other good friends that we have that I have in life. But there's people that I know for years, but it's okay, Freddie. You know, it's not the end. It's not the end. God willing, we're going to be successful. We're going to get justice. I want justice for all the things that we're going through. Justice for my family, for my daughter. That suffer a lot because they took her daughter without having any right. I mean, that's what these people do. And Freddie, this is one of the things that I want to say. These people are public officials accountable to us. We vote these people in. And once you hand them the power, they abuse that power against us.
I
These
agree.
people, we gotta
And
we
that's
gotta
why
find a
we
way to
should
find
have term limits.
accountability.
That's what's
Term
so
limits.
important
It's
about
important to
term
have term
limits,
limits.
because when you allow individuals to remain in office for a long period of time, you're going to eventually have corruption. You're going to eventually have the abuse of power, right? And I never understood that. I think 2 terms was enough. 3 terms was more than enough. 4 terms is ridiculous, and anything above that is just crazy. And so it's very important that the people demand that the term limits be returned to 2 terms, and that they stop any attempt at increasing the term limits to a 5th term, as Carolyn mentioned. There may be or even eliminating terms altogether. The reason why term limits exist is to prevent abuse of power, right? Look at Joe Biden, right? He's been in office for 53 years. 53 years. What has that
Yeah.
man truly done for this country, right? And for
What
people
about
who
the other
support
senators, the Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi? I mean,
Chuck
come on.
Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, the only thing that they've done is manage to enrich themselves. How much is Nancy Pelosi worth now, right? How much are
Yeah,
many of these politicians worth,
where's the IRS when that happens? But they
right?
target the little
So
guys.
they
Freddie,
abuse their power when they stay
Mhm.
in office for too long, right? It's a public service. You do your short amount of time, you do the best your job, and then you move on, right? And you go into your. I mean, look at the mayor of City of Yonkers. He's been in politics all his life, Mayor Mike Spano. He's worth $5 million. What other business does Mike Spano have? What other job does he do? He doesn't own a business, not that I'm aware of, right? He's been in politics all his life, but he's a multi-millionaire worth $5 million, right? And so that's just, you have to think
All I
about
want
that.
right now, Freddie, is divine justice and God protect our families and and
Well,
continue our lives and
well, Jose,
we will be
I
able
wish you
to.
the best of luck. God always has a plan. My wife and I, we always look back and say, everything happens for a reason, right? We can smile today, even though it was, tough. It was difficult, especially for her, going through what she went through over there. But she looks back and says, well, this is what was supposed to happen. So, at this point, she can smile. She's very content with where she's at. I'm happy where I'm at. My kids are very happy. And like you said, family is most important. That's what matters. And I'm going to still, from time to time, put up my posts, put out that information, because it's important. People have to be aware of what's going on, and people need to demand change, right? And I'm not going to stop being a voice. I'm not going to allow the evil to win. I'm going to continue pushing forward. I'm going to probably be a little more strategic of the way I do things, right? I don't put every information that I get out, because I get a lot of things that I don't put out, right? But if I can verify it through credible sources, sometimes we're not going to have a smoking gun. Some people, well, I want a smoking gun, I want to see the video. You're not going to get that. They're good at covering things up. They're good at keeping information from the people. You try to do a FOIA request, they deny FOIA requests, right? So you can't get any documents, you can't get any video, right? But you have to use your common sense, right? And you have to be able to trust in people, especially like me, people who have been, still remain consistent, who use reliable sources, people that are not anonymous, that have given me good information and use good judgment, right? So anyway, Jose, thank you for joining Basement Politics. It's always great to have you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Freddie.
Good
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you. And I
Wish
appreciate
the
you too.
best. God bless you and your family. Take care. Keep me updated. Keep me informed. All right. And we'll talk soon.
I wish you the same to you and your family. And always, I'll put you in my prayers with my wife. And
I do the same.
so God can cover you always with his power.
I'm a born again Christian. I got baptized very recently. So, and
that's great.
I keep a lot of people in my prayers.
Welcome to the family.
I keep people in the city of Yonkers. I pray. I don't pray for anything bad to happen to these individuals, right? I'm not praying for anyone to die, right? That's not because that's not what Jesus wants, not what God would want, right? I just pray that people like you and those who speak out and people who are being wronged, find their justice, right? And that things get better for them, and however that may, have to take place, right? But, not that I'm wishing people well, but if I'm not going to even mention some of the information that I know about certain individuals and their bad luck, but some people are not going through such great times right now. Some of these individuals that are part of this cabal, as I call it, this political cartel, they're going through some bad times right now. Some negative things are happening to them, things with their health, things with their relationships, things in their personal lives. And maybe you need to start being good people. And this stuff may not be happening to you folks,
Or stop abusing the people they're not supposed to.
So you got to put good energy out, right? Otherwise, you're going to get, negative energy return. I believe in that. So anyway, Jose, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Freddie.
Have a blessed day.
You.
Take care.
And God bless the people that put the comments too, Thank you.
Yeah. Shout out to all the people who watched and commented. It's time for me to have some dinner. And take care.
Have a good day, Freddie. Thank you.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I want. No! Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping.
Freddie wins. Fatality.